Hello and welcome to TMR Now. I am Chris Kelly and I'm going to be guiding you through something that looks more like the classical mat series, but with a greater emphasis and focus on thoracic mobility. So let's just start off, if you'd like to join me, I'm going to start off with a few standing roll downs. Let's just stay at 2 to 3. So you can start with feet parallel, heels together, toes lightly apart, and then use your breath out to roll forward. Breathing in as you're rolling, as you're there in the curl, and then breathe out to roll up. All we're doing here is just getting a sense of how the thoracic spine feels. Not with a sense of judgment, but really just to set a baseline, because this is how we're going to finish. So seeing how the thoracic spine hopefully may feel a little bit more lubricated, more spacious, or maybe even just more present than the start. That's the hope anyway. Okay, now, finding a way to get onto the mat with the least amount of effort possible with your hands. So I'm going to go with one arm on top of the other. Cross, sit, and lay down. Or rather lay down, let's not lay down. We're going to do something else. So let's just start with breathing, but we're going to use the half roll back as the space to breathe. Your hands are actually going to go on top of your kneecaps and then roll back. Really, you're using your hands or your arms as an anchor and allowing your spine to just drop to the wall behind you. Now, breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Good. And then roll back up. Now, what I may suggest is just trying a few different leg positions. I'm actually going to alter my feet in a bit because I think that's going to help me find a little bit more space here. So play around with the right position for you here. But otherwise, let's continue. So make sure that your arms are still plugged into your back. So we're not hanging back so much the shoulders are rolling forward. But this time, have a bit more awareness on where you breathe. So this time, see if you can breathe into the lower back space. And then breathe out. Just feel your body just soften and deep into the wall behind. 2 more like that. And breathe out. And breathe in. And out. Curl up. Once more, roll back. And this time, try to breathe into the back lower ribs. And you can almost now image that every time you breathe in and out, that your body stretches a little bit deeper into the fabric of whatever you're wearing. Shirt, jumper. Think more about that spreading here and a softening at the front of the body. I assume you've done 3 breaths. Come up. Good. Straighten the legs and then roll down onto the mat. So we prepare for the 100 by first drawing the arms up to the ceiling, heels together, toes lightly apart to wake up the midline. Exhale, the arms reach overhead. Focus on that idea of reach. Fingertips away from toes, vice versa. Every time you breathe out, just feel your ribcage soften and funnel down to your pelvis deeper. Now on the next breath in, draw the arms up to the ceiling. And we're just going to prep into the shape 3 times. So don't feel like you need to pick your legs up right away. So on the breath out, the arms reach up and forward. The head and chest peel up. Reaching your fingertips forward. Back lower ribs deepen into the mat. And feel the back of the head and neck go backwards and upwards. And then lay the spine back down. Just do that a couple more times. So we start with the arms overhead. Arms up to the ceiling. Breath out softens the sternum, slides down to the pelvis, the head and chest lift. Stay here for a full breath in and out. Try to deepen the back lower ribs into the mat. Find more lift backwards and upwards through the head and neck. And lay down, arms overhead. And this time, find your preferred leg position. So I'm going to be picking my legs up. Arms up to ceiling. And then press the arms up and forward. Lengthen the legs away from your body. Back lower ribs deepen into the mat. And for today, for me to get the back lower ribs down, I'm going to lift the legs up a little bit higher. Now start pumping into the 100. Breathe in. And breathe out for 5 pumps. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose or mouth. Whatever works better for you here. Continue. Remember, above all else, that 100 is a breathing exercise, which for me is really challenging to try to breathe and talk. So I'm just going to do 30 more without talking. Last 10. Lay down. Good work. So from here, we'll go into the roll up. Your arms reach up to the ceiling. If you need a prop, feel free to grab that now. But otherwise, anchor your Achilles tendon down, back lower ribs deepen. And then as you breathe out, imagine you're curling up and over a beach ball, lifting up to go over. Take a breath in here. And then breathe out to roll back. Lead from the pelvis to roll. As you're halfway down, spiral the upper inner thighs down into the mat. Let's hold here together. This is the part where legs start to fling up. See if you can anchor this down deeper so that you've got more space for your spine to articulate. And then lay down. Just do this 5 more times, flowing into a little bit more. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, and then exhale to roll back. Try to find a continuous exhale as you're articulating your spine. Breathe in, and breathe out. Find that part where maybe you hiccup and stop breathing, and on the next one, see if you can breathe through it. A mobile thoracic cage is a thoracic cage where we can breathe. In opposition to that, if we brace our breath, most likely we're going to inhibit our ribs from moving. Once more, think soft, supple rib cage, sternum, in theory, still not going to be easy. And then roll back. Okay, now let's go into the prep for the rollover. So even if you can do a full rollover, with a greater emphasis on the thoracic cage, let's bring the legs like so. So one on top of the other, and then you're going to hook your feet like so and pressing the feet outwards into one another. Now, also, feel like a sense of your heels drawing to your seat. Collarbones are wide, arms actively pressing into the floor. Breathe in and then breathe out. The tail curls up to the ceiling and the heart and sternum softens down into the floor. And then as you breathe out, melt your spine down, the mid-back, the lower back, and the tail. 3 more on this side. Roll. And rolling down. You can even think about the idea of your exhale facilitating your lift. So breathe out first, and then roll. Once more. Change your legs. And repeat. Four more. Now, if you just get a bunny hop in this, that's also okay. I'm probably more interested in the ability for you to just get lifted up without compromising your shoulder position. And let's just do one more. Wonderful. From here, rather than going to the full leg circle, we'll just go into the single-legged tick-tock or the corkscrew. So, two options for this, the gestured leg, is to have it bent or lifted up to the ceiling with that slightest turnout coming from the hip socket. Arms down by the side. Now from here, you're going to send this leg over to the left, allowing the right hip to lift up. Hold here. Now, focus on the reach away more than the need to drop it down. Right shoulder blade stays anchored and spiral the inner thigh of the standing leg down to the floor. Use your exhale to initiate your right pelvis dropping down and the leg follows. Just do that 3 more times. You breathe in, find the stretch and reach. Breathe out, emptying the lungs, the sternum softens and the pelvis drops. And 2. And 1. And switch. Good. Lift up to go over. And then breath out to pull everything in. That's it. And 3. And 2. And 1. Up to go over. Breath out initiates the return. Then we go into rolling like a ball. So pick yourself up into the shape. Hands press into the shins, shins into the hands. Bind your heels towards your seat. Now, use that opposition here to try to puff up your back as much as possible. And then as you breathe into the back body, almost think that that tips you backwards. And then exhale to come up and hold. Just do that 5 more times. And with each roll, can you make it softer, slower, and smoother? Two. 1. Single leg stretch. Extend the left leg forward. For simplicity, I'm going to hold on to my right leg like so. You're more than welcome to do this version too, if that's in your practice, but otherwise gently lay the spine down. When we're looking at the thoracic spine, feel like your shin presses into your hand to try to lift the head, neck, and chest up, but deepen the back lower ribs into the mat, finding that shallow dish in shape in your spine here. Then switch. Breathe in, exhale, switch. Continue. If you need to rest at any part of this, go for it. Probably more interested in the ability for you to move, but correlate movement with breath. If at any point you puff out so much that you lose the connection of the breath, remember, if you stop breathing, your ribs stop moving. Pause, recenter yourself with your breath, and then continue. But otherwise, double leg stretch. Breathe in, arms and legs. We'll start with the up version. Reach the arms and legs up to the ceiling. Deepen the back lower ribs into the mat more. Circle the arms around and pull everything in. We'll do 4 more. Stay with that version or go into the full reach. And circle and pull in. Breathe in, circle and draw in. 2 more. Crisscross. Either feet down onto the floor, or I'll show you the version where the legs are essentially doing what single leg stretch was doing, but then we add a twist through the spine. Hands are supporting the neck. Neck is long in the hands. The head and chest lift. Now from here, you're going to twist to the left. Think about the right shoulder going up and over to the left hip, and just hold here. Now, can you try to deepen the twist by sending your left shoulder towards the center of the mat? And then switch. Hold for full breath in and out. And switch. One more on each side. Lay down. Good work. Straighten the legs. Reach the arms overhead. Roll up. Sitting up tall. Spine stretch. So let's have the hands outside the legs, pressing into the floor, using that to just give a sense of feedback of the back lower ribs puffing up. Look forward, breathe in, and breathe out, slide the hands down and forward. And then feel your spine peel away from an imaginary wall. However, can you deepen your waist inwards into that imaginary wall, getting a lovely stretch between the head and the tail. Hold here for another full breath in and out. And then breathe into the back lower ribs. Use that to plump up your spine. And finish with the head balanced over your rib cage. Let's go again. Exhale to go forward. Once again, stay here for a full breath in and out. Try to deepen the curve between the head and the tail. On the next breath in, roll back up. Flow through it a little bit more. So this time, breathe out, expel all the air out of the lungs and ribs. Breathe in to roll back up. Your exhale initiates your curl forward. Your inhale plumps up your vertebra from the lower back, mid back, upper back, neck and head. Good, once more. Open leg rocker. The legs slide in. There are other variations to get into this, but for today, actually let's roll back until you're rested on your sacrum. Extend one leg, extend the other. Connect your arms into your back. Find that same puffing sensation of your back body as you did with rolling like a ball. And then again, think about the inhale being so broad into the back that it tips you back. Exhale up. Whoop. This is my nemesis. Now there's video evidence of that. Breathe in. And lift. Good. Twice more. Whoop. Sometimes you just don't get up. It's okay. And up. And hold. Glue the legs together. Roll down. Bring the legs up vertically. And then we go into the corkscrew. So your legs can be straight up to the ceiling, softly bent. Either option is okay. Arms pressing into the floor. You're going to tip your legs over to the right, allowing the left hip to lift. So we're just going to start with the side to side first. Draw everything in. Tip over to the other side. And then bring it in. One more on each side. Right shoulder blade stays deep into the, left as I tip to the right, and then pull it to center. Tip to the other side. Breathe in. Exhale, pull it in. Now you know how wide your circle is. Now, how low can you drop the legs down and away whilst deepening the back, lower ribs and waist inwards and upwards, and then pull it up once more. And lift. Now you know how low your circle should be. Adding all of this together. So now I'm going to straighten my legs fully. You can stay in the bent leg version. Wake up your midline though, whatever option you've chosen. Cross to the right, circle down, draw it around and lift it up. Breathe in as the leg lowers down and away. Exhale, zip it up. One more on each side. Think again, breath and movement correlating with one another. Roll up. Don't know if you can hear, but not as easy to master that when you're talking at the same time. So, hands are going to support the neck. We go into the saw. Neck is long. Breathe in. And then breathe out. You're going to twist your body to the right. Inhale to center. Twist to the left. And center. Twist to the right. This time we add the spine stretch forward, going into the full saw. Aim for your elbow to go in between your feet. Roll up, twist deeper. Untwist, lengthen the spine, lift up. Twist, curl forward. Twist deeper, untwist. One more on each side. Line to your stomach. And let's go into swan. So, start off by crawling your legs away from your hip socket, or even away from your head. Feel the front of the hips just broaden deeper into the mat. And you can even just start to do a couple of pelvic tilts, feeling more weight in the pubic bone, then more weight in your hip bones, and then try to balance somewhere in between where you're even on all 3 points. Adding to that, hands forward, and slightly wider than the shoulders is acceptable. Now, roll your collarbones back, float the head and neck off the floor a little bit. Breathe in, and then breathe out, just soften the heart, yield it down into the mat deeper. And then on the next breath in, glide your elbows towards your feet. Use that to start to peel and stretch your sternum forward and upwards. And then as you breathe out, lay the spine down, but keep drawing your elbows backwards as you do so. And this time I'm going to think about the eye gaze leading the movement, and the stretch of the sternum follows. And then back down. Either staying with that version or going into the full extension. Breathing in, and then exhale, press down into the floor. Lift into the full extension. Breathe in, and then exhale, lower down from the thighs, the abdomen, the chest, the nose, and then the head and eyes. Once more, elbows glide back, and lift. Breathe in, lay down. If you wish, quickly go into a child's pose. Stay here for a full breath in, and then a full breath out. Keep your sit bones down as you roll up. Good. And then let's just finish here in what's called the twist, which kind of looks like a kind of a prep for a snake on the reformer. So, you're going to cross your legs. There are two versions of this, really. If you want to deepen the stretch in the twist, your top leg in front of the bottom leg, or the other way around. See what works best for you, but otherwise, have your hands in the same line, just a little bit forward of your hips. And then to start the movement, press your hands into the floor. So you're starting with your sternum forward. Then you're going to use your hands to twist the sternum to the wall here. Now, as you breathe out, think about puffing, softening the sternum, puffing up your back, and use that to lift up. Accentuate the lift here and get a sense of your tailbone still dropping down, so we're not in a full pike. And then lead from the tailbone curling down. Back lower ribs stay lifted for as long as possible. And come back in. I'm going to switch my legs and do that version now. 4 more. Breath out to lift. Inhale, lower down. And 3. 2. And 1. Switch sides. When movements get a little bit harder, or when we start to have to coordinate breath or coordinate with more challenging choreography, make sure you're still breathing. Generally, that's the first thing that goes. That is also, I'm telling myself that. So it's as much for you as it is for me. 2 more. And twist, lift, lower, and in. Initiate from the twist of your rib cage, and then ripple up, lower down, pelvis leads the descent, back to center. Then we finish how we started. Come up to stand. First of all, just recenter your body with your breath. Already just sense how it feels in your posture, in your breath, apart from maybe, the fact that you've been working a bit and maybe gathering with your breath still. But otherwise, as you breathe out, let's just start peeling the spine forward away from an imaginary fence or imaginary wall, diving over an imaginary fence. And then roll back up. Twice more. And just sense how that part of your spine feels. The part that is enveloped by a rib cage. How does it feel to move that part of your spine? What is the experience of breathing into that part of your spine? How expansive is your breath? And then how does it feel to have your shoulders and head over your rib cage there? Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me on the Thoracic Mobility Inspired Mat.